Right.
I didn't have like a picture of, oh, it's like this, and I'll have 10 number ones, and I'll have, work with this actor, that actor. I just felt like I'm going to have extreme success in Hollywood.
Hey, what's happening, man? This is expediTIously. I'm your host, Tip T.I. Harris. Now, you all know here what we do is we have important conversations that can shape, mold, direct, and guide the generation, the culture, and the community. And we have those conversations with people who are relevant to the discussion. Now, our guest today, although he's a personal partner of mine, we met when this was our first time working together, my first time as a producer, and I learned everything I know about how to be a producer in film and television from him when we worked together on Takers.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Classic.
And his name is synonymous with success. It is Will Packer, okay? Will Packer is the founder and CEO of Will Packer Media, a first-of-its-kind media company producing episodic scripted and unscripted series across television and digital platforms, compelling content for brand clients, and its own operated platforms. Prior to founding Will Packer Media, the Emmy-nominated producer, listen to that, established himself as one of Hollywood's blockbuster hit makers, with 9 of his films opening number 1 at the box office. In 2013, Packer signed first-look production deals with Universal Pictures and Universal Television. Under both deals, he develops new projects for the studios under his Will Packer Productions banner. That sounds like, a nice little culmination of...
Brother. You on a roll.
Hey, I'm telling
I
you.
hope I don't have to say nothing
doing.
after you, dog.
I'm just telling you what you're doing. Now, Packer's number 1 films include Ride Along 2, No Good Deed, Think Like a Man, Ride Along, Think Like a Man 2, Takers, Obsessed, and Stomp the Yard.
Yes.
Now, I could go on and on, man, but we'll be here all day, and I'm sure he got other shit to do. So please welcome to expediTIously my partner, the Hollywood icon and a community icon as well, Mr. Will Packer. What's going on?
My guy.
What's happening, sir?
Listen, first of all, what I don't know if people know, so you said Emmy-nominated, which is true.
Yeah, absolutely.
You were in my Emmy-nominated project.
Oh, you mean Roots?
Roots.
Oh, that was our Emmy-nominated.
That was our Emmy-nominated project.
Right, brother.
Listen, brother.
Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you, man. It seems that
I got 10 number ones. We say 9. I claim Straight Outta Compton, which I executive produced.
Ah.
Yes. So
Okay,
I got 9 I produced,
straight,
1
then.
I executive produced.
Let's get it straight.
Listen, number 1 is hard to come by.
We got the whole dime as if 9 wasn't enough.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't know who counts these things, Tip. I don't know who cares about these things. I just want it to be right. If we're going to put it out there, that's all.
Put it out there all the way together.
It doesn't really matter, but it's 10.
Okay,
Go
so
ahead.
10 consecutive number 1 films.
Yeah.
That's
Not
unprecedented.
consecutive. There was some gaps in between.
There was some gaps in between. Well,
yeah, all of them won number 1.
Well, I know I literally went to theaters around the country, hopped behind there, served popcorn, and rented out theaters for midnight show. I did some Rudy Ray Moore Dolomite shit for Takers to get us past Exorcist to get to number 1.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that.
So, bro,
I had a deal. It was me and Feltheimer because, Exorcist was a Lionsgate film.
Okay, John Feltheimer was the big exec over at Lionsgate at the time.
He's the head honcho over there.
He sure is.
And we have a very, very, very personal, like a cool relationship. And I was telling him, man, I'm going to hate to take that number 1 from you this week. And he said, you're not going to get number 1. It's Exorcist. I said, I don't care. This is us. I'm doing it.
That is true.
And we got over the number. I think we beat them maybe by $12,000.
I think it was like 20 grand, but it was super close.
But guess
like
what?
as close as it gets in Hollywood.
Those were the theaters that I had open.
I have no doubt.
I booked theaters, and because let's say the last showing of a theater could be 10:30.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, give me all theaters playing Takers at midnight.
Yeah.
And I get on the radio and say, y'all meet me up here at this theater. We showing nothing but Takers at midnight.
Yes.
And I hop behind the counter, serve popcorn, take tickets, and did all that.
That, boys and girls, is how you hustle your way to the top of the game.
Absolutely.
That's how you beat films that have bigger budgets than
That's
you.
right.
That's how you beat films that have quote-unquote bigger stars than you.
Yeah.
You go out and you have somebody on your team like Tip that's willing to go the extra mile.
Yeah, you call it nuts and guts, man. You know what I'm saying? Nuts and guts, no glory, man.
There you go, baby.
Big
That's
risk,
that
big
grind.
reward.
Yeah.
I mean, but you know what I'm saying? As much as I would love to take credit for that, I have to also allude to the fact that right after the week after the number one, I ended up, you know, making a U-turn on Sunset Boulevard that sent me back to prison.
Well,
but that has nothing to do with it. We still got
I was
going
to
to
skip over that. I don't know.
But no. You know
I don't
what?
know on
Hey,
expeditiously how deep we go.
I embrace all of those experiences because it led to the man that's speaking to you today.
Since you did bring that up,
Okay.
can I also tell people?
Sure.
During the shooting of Takers,
Mm-hmm.
you were so you shoot a movie, it's long days, it's 12, 14-hour days, especially a movie like that, you got action.
Right.
Every day at lunch, you would bring in kids in the community to
Right.
talk to them.
Right.
You were it was part of your community service obligation.
Right.
It was also just the shit that Tip does.
Absolutely.
So every day when all the other actors, they shooting the shit, they, kicking it, working out, whatever,
Right.
because that was Idris and Chris Brown
Paul
and Paul
Walker,
Walker, God bless the
bless.
dead, absolutely. Tip would be having conversations with the youth every day. You never had a break on that show.
Yeah.
So I will absolutely give you that. And yep, afterwards there was another, it's life
Another
is all
hiccup.
about hills and valleys.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was a valley afterwards, but during that show, I was extreme, and that was our first time working together.
It was.
I was extremely impressed with what you did and your work ethic, and you were going above and beyond what you were required to do
Right on.
to influence folks, the youth that would never have had a chance to come on a movie set and talk to somebody like you. So anyway, I want to put that out there.
Man, well, thank you. But I mean, I think that you actually gave me an opportunity as a film producer. You know what I mean? Because at the time, I was coming off of ATL and
Yep.
then American Gangster, and I was a pretty big deal as far as what I'm
Tim,
saying.
you ain't never not been a big
I mean,
deal,
you know
brother.
what I'm saying?
When,
But not to
was
myself,
you?
not to myself. I'm talking about other people taking them a little longer to catch up.
Okay.
But I think that for you to take that shot on me, you and Screen Jim, Clint Culpepper, you know what I'm saying, the whole team, for you to take that shot, for you guys to give me an opportunity as a film producer. And I remember telling you, man, like, I want to know what you do.
Yeah.
And you was like, well, just watch and don't expect to get any rest. You know what I'm saying? And it was a lot. And but I think in layman's terms, what you told me was you have to be the hardest worker, and you have to make sure that everything you're supposed to get for this film, you get it on time and on budget.
Yep, that's true. Because the buck stop with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So somebody listening to this podcast right now, like, I want to get in the movie business. How do I produce? You are the final stop.
Right.
Whether it's good or bad or in between, over budget, under, it
Right.
all comes down to the producer.
And everyone else is allowed to make excuses but you.
You cannot make an excuse. You're right, bro. You right, dog. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't about that life, then you need to find something else.
Yeah, man, just be an actor. You can have all excuses you want. You know what I'm saying? It was
Don't-
everybody
don't
else's
I
fault
know
but
it.
yours.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying? Man, I mean, and the world always pulled me to the side and say, man, when we gonna do a Takers 2? Or when we gonna
Takers
do
2.
a prequel? Or when we gonna, because people love those characters.
It would have been so much easier if we hadn't killed everybody off.
Man, but see, the beauty of storytelling.
Yes.
You can tell the story of before. You could tell, and we didn't
I
necessarily.
feel like you're working around to a thing where Ghost didn't die. I feel like
Ghost
I feel
didn't
like
die.
that's where you.
Oh, there's a
Ghost
prequel.
did die.
There's-
We shot Ghost.
No, we didn't. We
At
didn't
the
shoot
Van
him. Not
Nuys
point
Airport.
blank. Not point blank. We
You
didn't
know,
stand over it.
I was talking to our good friend Idris Elba last
Yes,
week.
as was I.
Idris said the exact same thing. Because I said, come on, man, we killed everybody. Ghost died. Idris said, did Ghost really die?
Did Ghost really die? Is the question. Some would beg to differ. I mean, or even argue the fact: did Michael Ealy and Chris Brown's characters die?
Man.
You saw him stumble out of frame, but we didn't see a flat line.
Listen, we're going to do a Takers 2 and everybody live? Everybody?
We didn't say everybody. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Okay.
There's a way to
That's
do
valid.
it. Where there's a will
Yes, there's a way.
There's a way.
Hey, bro, listen, I will tell you, if we can find the right way in,
Right.
because that's a classic, man.
It is.
People come up to me about Takers, and when has there been a good heist movie?
But guess
Like,
what,
for
though?
real.
This is the reason why I know that there's an appetite.
Okay.
People are remaking it.
Or trying to.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
It's being remade.
Yeah.
So
I haven't quite seen anybody do it the way we did it.
well, they can't do it, brother. They don't have us. You dig
they've
what I'm
tried,
saying? But I'm just saying.
that was a clean movie.
I'm talking about
Y'all
for
cats
real,
was in
man.
suits.
I'm talking about
We
for
was
real.
dropping
man.
armored cars through the middle of the
I mean,
streets,
even
blowing up helicopters.
And I tell Omar all day, you know, I was the first ghost. And the first ghost, my ghost would kick your ghost ass any day of the week. I'm telling you that now. Now, let me ask you, did you ever think in your wildest dreams that you'd be here? You know what I mean? From going to a prestigious HBCU.
Yep, FAMU already. Come on now.
Did you ever think that you would like blow up out of the stratosphere as far as film production and storytelling is concerned?
I did, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did. Come on, man. I feel like you and I are like simpatico. We think similarly in that way. Like I'm sure if you found young Tip, there never was a time that you felt like there was a ceiling on what you could do.
Right.
I felt the same way, man. I didn't know exactly what it would look like, but I felt like I'm gonna be the biggest. I'm going to be the best.
Right.
I'm going to take this game by storm. And I didn't know anybody in Hollywood. I was just, trying to find my way, starting at FAMU, making my little tiny movies. But I felt like, I'm going to the top.
Right.
I want the ultimate success. Even when I couldn't, envision what that was. I didn't even, I didn't know how to define it. But I knew I'm going to work and bust my ass. And I'm going to get to wherever that is.
Right.
I didn't have a picture of, it's like this, and I'll have 10 number ones, and I'll have, work with this actor, that actor. I just felt like I'm going to have extreme success in Hollywood. I always felt like that was possible.
And that vision is key, you know what I mean? Like you say, even if you don't know, you can't necessarily envision what that success would look like for you, but you know that it's there.
Yeah.
And it's yours.
Yeah.
I think that vision is key. And when you mention me, I always knew that this is what I wanted to do. I always knew that I was here to lead by way of entertainment. You know what I'm saying? I just kind of saw myself as a Tupac. I saw myself as an Ice Cube. I saw myself in LL Cool J. Like, I could see that. As I saw, I thought I had to grow up in order to do it. But then when Crisscross came out, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, we can do this now? And so I don't have to wait.
A young cat in the South.
You know what I mean?
But when you talk about Cube and Pac and LL looking at people like that, what made you think that as a young Southern, unashamedly Southern rapper, you could have national success? That wasn't happening back then.
You see, I didn't understand regions. I didn't have, you have to teach limitations. You know what I'm saying?
That's very true.
So
that's very true.
I had no idea that, that success was determined by what region you were from because of, whether it's whatever platforms exist in New York or whatever platforms exist in LA. All I knew was they dope, I'm dope, I'm going to go out here and get it. And I mean,
so you never thought, okay, I need to be in New York or L.A.
No.
To do what I need to do?
No.
You never felt like that's where success is? You know what's so interesting about that? I felt the same way. Because seriously, starting off in the movie business, everybody was going to L.A. or New York.
That's true.
And I said, I'm going to do it here in Atlanta. It was me, my partner, Rob Hardy.
Right.
And we were coming straight.
A dope guy.
Dope director, absolutely. We were coming out of FAMU at the time, and to be honest, we were following in the footsteps of cats like y'all, right? So when we came out of college, that was the LaFace, Organized Noise, So Def rise.
Absolutely.
And we said, if they can do it in Atlanta, why go and be a small fish in a big pond like L.A.?
Right.
Why not see if we can't make it happen here?
Now, and I give you 100% credit for having a hand in Atlanta being a huge go-to for film and television today. Now, of course, we know of course we know the Tyler Perrys of the world and all the astronomical steps toward progression he's brought to the city as far as film production and television production. But you, even back when Tyler was still doing plays.
He was doing his plays.
I think you did Trois.
We were doing our little Trois movies, our little
Trois.
erotic thrillers.
And
yep.
y'all had an opening, I think, at the Fox.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And that was a big ass deal.
It was a huge deal.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And that was before anybody was shooting movies in Atlanta.
It
and
wasn't
nobody.
a thing.
Well,
yeah.
actually, I don't know. Did you precede ATL? Because I think ATL was probably
What year? What year was ATL?
2006.
We definitely preceded it with Trois.
Okay,
I
gotcha.
shot Trois in 99 and released it in 2000.
Okay, gotcha.
Yes, so I was before you too.
Okay, well, damn.
No,
Well,
I
shit.
just wanted to just make sure you knew that.
All right. Well,
I
yeah,
beat you
well,
on one
well,
thing.
thank you.
If
I
nothing
appreciate-
else.
Well, thank you for bringing that up on my show. I appreciate that for telling all of my listeners that you.
It's my one thing.
that
Can
you-
I have
that you
my
beat
one
me
that
to
I
this
did better
punch.
than?
No problem. Okay.
No, but yeah, it was before Tyler was doing the plays, and we were doing our little small movies here in Atlanta. Atlanta had dried up. Back in the day, Atlanta was a hot spot to make movies, like
Well, you got
BJ and the Bear, Cannonball Run, In the Heat of the Night. Like all that was shot
and
here.
You got, you know what I'm saying? Let's do it again.
Yes. Oh, if you go back to
Uptown
then.
Saturday Night.
Yes.
You know what I'm
yes.
saying?
100%.
Yeah.
So I came in with that generation kind of after that and
Okay.
was doing my little small movies. And then, like, bigger and bigger. And then, of course, Tyler came, loved what he's doing.
Right
And then
on.
we all worked together to get the tax credit here.
Mm.
At the end of the day, Hollywood's about money. They're going to go where,
The money is.
come on,
Yeah.
where it's cheapest to shoot. I don't care what it is.
Right.
And so that is what has really propelled the film industry into what it is now.
Right. Now, what point in your journey did you see this exact vision for your life?
I saw it being possible after Stomp the Yard.
Mm.
That was the movie I was like, oh, I can play on the level with the big dogs. Because we were number one. That was my first number one movie. It wasn't number one in Atlanta.
Right.
It wasn't number one with black people.
Right.
It wasn't number one in the South. We were the number one movie in America. And I said, oh, I could do this. And then all of a sudden, people were returning my calls who I couldn't get on the phone before. And that was a nice feeling.
Funny
you know
how
what I'm
that
saying?
happens.
Oh, brother.
Funny
You
how
want
that
Hollywood you want to get Hollywood's attention, you make some money without them.
Now, the stories that you were telling are stories of young black adolescents,
Okay.
as they transition themselves from one level of life to the next, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in college,
Yeah.
whether it's a young bank robber, whatever it is.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
about young black kids, young adults that transition themselves from one level of life to the next.
Yep. That's
Where-
a big part of our portfolio.
Where
for sure.
does the inspiration for your films come from?
Real people? Like the fact that I live in Atlanta and not LA, I'm there all the time, got an office there, all of that, but ATL is home. So I'm around real people. I'm influenced by real people.
Okay.
That drives the creatives for my movies and TV shows.
Now as
It's not just like, talking with other Hollywood people. Hollywood tends to be like a bubble, you know what I'm saying?
yeah. And they follow.
They follow each other, and everybody's trying to make
everybody
the
walking in
same
a circle,
thing,
following
the
each
same
other,
circle,
around in a
they
circle.
talking the same way. and
Yeah.
I got to get out of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Atlanta definitely helps, and then traveling all over, not just the A, but just traveling and anyway, that's where a lot of the inspiration comes. It's from real people, not
Right.
just Hollywood folks.
Now, what makes you determine what stories to tell and not to tell? Because sometimes I know I might suggest something to you, be like, "Nah, Tip, it's a little dark for me."
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
that's
So,
true.
how do you, as the captain of the ship,
Yeah.
determine what stories to tell and not to tell?
I always think about the audience first, and is there an audience for it, right? It's too much content out there today to just make something because you can.
Right.
Especially me. I have to make something because I feel like there's a definite audience for it, and it can be made really well. So you and I talk about this a lot behind the scenes about the execution of it, right?
Sure.
There's a great idea. I'm like, okay, who's the writer? Who's the director? Who's going? Because we can have a great idea. In any movie out there that you've seen that absolutely sucked, you like, why did they make it?
Right.
At one point in time, somebody thought it was a good idea. I promise you.
Yeah.
Nobody intends to make a movie that's not good.
Somebody got added to the team that didn't pull their weight.
That is correct. Or multiple people got added. You know what I'm saying? That's usually what happens.
Yeah, or somebody took too much money home.
That too. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out, can it be how execution dependent it is, meaning it's a good idea, but it will only work if it is done a particular way. And if that's a very narrow window,
Right.
I tend to lean away from those types of movies because the chance for success. At the end of the day, I'm still very analytical. I have a background in electrical engineering, so I'm analytical in the way I think about this stuff, dog. Honestly, I'm like, thinking about it in like formulas and equations, even though it's a creative medium. So I'm thinking, what's the best chance for success? And I've been all right. Knock on whatever.
Now, I see a producer, film producer and television producer as the owner of a franchise for every film, right?
Okay.
Because you have to pick a director, which is like a coach.
Yeah.
You have to pick your star.
Yeah.
You have to pick, your whatever studio you with, which is kind of like doing a partnership for your stadium or your arena.
Right.
You have to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what tells you what a good director is besides his, the work that he's done? If you sit down with a first-time director, what tells you if it's a good director? What tells you if this star can carry a film?
Yeah.
What tells you if this film studio is right for this project?
Man, that's the secret, right?
Well, that's what we brought you here for, man.
I understand.
We brought you here to share the secrets.
That's where a lot of people get off. Right? Because you can have a great idea and put it in the hands of the wrong director or the wrong actors, and it's not going to win. I take a lot of pride in the fact that, I think about cat skill sets, Kevin Hart's first big commercial movie was mine, and
dope.
Idris Elba's first one, and Tiffany Haddish. Like, I think a lot about, all right, what is the skill set they have and how does it marry with the project? And then I think about the director and what's their skill set. Because a director... the director for Girls Trip is not the director for Takers, and shouldn't be, probably, right? You got some people that can do anything.
Right.
I'm trying to think very specifically, just like you said, like an owner or a general manager of a team.
Right.
I don't put the right players in place,
right,
the right people in position, we are not going to win, period. Right. I spent a lot of time thinking about that, dog. Who can I put in place to make sure this shit is going to pop?
Well, let's talk about a time where you didn't get it right.
Okay.
I want to talk about, tell me a time.
How much time we got, guys? Is the interview over?
I'm getting the wrap up. Now, wait a minute. I think we got a little more time.
We didn't have a lot of time.
We got a little more time.
Tip is bringing up failures.
Well, no, not necessarily failures. I'm talking about, let's do it both ways.
Okay. All right.
Let's do it a time where you had an opportunity to go this direction with this director, and you chose another, you went another way, and you felt like you'd have had a better outcome if you chose this one. Or a time where you thought that this was the director, but you kind of went with another way and found success in it. Whichever way you'd like to share.
I mean, I've been very, very fortunate in my career. Like, I haven't had that, like, and as soon as I say this, this the clip you run back when I fuck up. I haven't had the theatrical bomb yet, honestly. Every movie I've made has made money. Part of that is the fact that I make it for a certain, budget. Okay. But that's part of the game. You know what I mean? You make it for X, and then if the movie makes Y and Y is greater than X, you win. I have, I gotta say, Tip, the directors I've chosen are who were supposed to make those movies. Nothing jumps out where I'm like, fuck, I messed that one up in terms of who I put in position. Right. Some movies, I wish turned out differently, but for the most part, I'll be honest with you, dog, I'm proud of my resume. Honestly. You should be. I really am.
Well, you should be. I mean, so what about, like, okay, when people say, because I got a lot of this, and I gave it to you when you called me, when you said, hey, Tip, I want you to do Roots. Yeah. I'm like, man, look, man, I called you about Think Like a Man 2. I called you about all these other movies you have that I could have been in, and you called me to do Roots. And I'm saying, man, what the fuck, why do we need another slave movie?
Yeah, you did.
So how did you overcome the apprehension of that and decide not only to do it, but to do it the way you did it, and have the success that came after it? How does that feel?
I knew that young generation didn't know that story, and I knew it was an important story. And listen, I get it. There's a lot of fatigue around slave shit, right? And stuff that shows black trauma, right? I'm tired of it my damn self. I get it. That was a story that I knew that a younger generation did not know, and having somebody like you in it made it accessible right? It made it cool in a way that another actor would not. Right. And I knew you could pull it off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've never, we talk about this off camera, but there's never been a question about your talent. You got a lot of people that will want to pigeonhole you because you come in with such a huge rap persona. Right. And you've recently obviously started diversify with the TV stuff you do and all the different roles that you've done.
And expeditiously.
Expeditiously, for sure, is showing that, you know what? Tip is all those things. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
So I knew having you would help to open up and broaden that. But, man, I wanted to make that movie because I knew that the true story of, like, how we became to be, how Africans came to America hadn't been told for a younger generation. That's really why I did it, dog. I'm proud of it, and it did well. A lot of people saw that, man.
It did well.
Emmy nomination.
It got nominated for an Emmy.
Yeah, man.
And, I believe that that's probably one of the more serious, dramatic projects that you've taken on that, that shows that, what I'm saying, that you're not just a one-trick pony.
I would agree. Yeah, I would agree.
Now, being
now, Tip, you brought up Think Like a Man 2.
I did.
What was the role that you would have been in Think Like a Man 2? I had the original cast already set up, Tip.
Man, and one of them. I don't care.
You want me to lose some of the people that was in the first one?
So be it.
These are the conversations
Kevin
that Tip
Hart,
and I have.
Kevin Hart, who? Who the fuck? Listen, he got enough fucking work already.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
the first Think Like a Man kind of set him up on the trajectory.
So you want me to fire him?
He doesn't. No, you don't. Hey, how about this? You're so booked up, Kevin. We're gonna let Tip have this one, and you go ahead and do.
If you had one of your artists, you come out and they bang, right? Triple platinum.
Yeah.
You not doing the follow-up album with that artist?
I mean, is it Tip that we're talking about here? I mean, see, it all revolves around.
Tip, you lied. You lied,
Tip. It all revolves around.
That's not true.
What's gonna be best for Tip? You see what I'm saying? That's what you're not understanding here.
That's honest. That's real.
But listen, man. But and I always tell you, man. You one of the greatest. I'm talking about most genuine people that I've met in this business. And you do so many films. And I haven't had someone who I am so fond of look the other way so many times when it comes. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times. But we
gotta get
friends.
The right role, man.
I've heard that 1,000 times. Okay, but you helped launch the careers of Kevin Hart, Idris Elba, Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
Your Christmas, people, you must have excellent Christmases and birthdays.
Well, when people giving me gifts and
you
shit.
got to.
They take care of me.
I mean,
I ain't gonna lie.
That's what I ain't doing.
Kevin Hart is a little slow.
Hey, man, somebody get Will a gift. Hey, man, get Will a nice gift, man.
You do not have to do that.
Let's get Will a nice gift. He likes scarves. Let's get him an Hermes scarf or something, man. Get him a hat scarf set so we can get Tip back in the movies the way he should be.
I love it.
What has been your most successful film to date by box office standards?
Straight Outta Compton.
Okay.
That I EP'd.
Right.
And I think Girls Trip that I produced.
Girls Trip is,
Girls Trip we did.
And so that wasn't a number one because I didn't see that on the list. Are you serious?
Yeah, man. We dropped in the summer. And we dropped against a war movie called Dunkirk. You remember that joint?
I remember it. I think that's the one that Angelina Jolie directed, right?
No. Christopher Nolan directed it.
Okay.
It was big war movie. And those war movies, like there's one out right now called 1917 that's doing big numbers. Those movies do big. We knew that we were going to be up against something big, but we felt like we would be counter-programming is what they call it, when it's like everybody going to see one thing, but there's a big audience that movie doesn't speak to.
Right.
But they don't all open at number one, dog.
Now, speaking of Girl Trip, what do you look for when you select in the cast? Because that was although, they're all powerful black women in that cast. They're very diverse. It's a very diverse culmination.
Yeah.
And what makes you select the cast?
Bro, an ensemble cast is the hardest thing to put together, dog. Honestly.
And you do it very well. You did it with Takers. You did it with Think Like a Man. You did it with Girls Trip.
It's tough. It's not easy because we can name a bunch of movies where the ensemble didn't work. And it ain't even about having a bunch of stars.
It's about chemistry.
Man, it's about chemistry. That's it, dog. So really, we went to Regina first.
Okay.
That's my dog. I know her. That's my go-to. She's amazing.
Right.
And then we went to Jada and Latifah at the same time. They hadn't worked together since Set It Off. And we felt like, okay, this pairing could be lit.
Right.
Them plus Regina, we knew we got 3 all-stars.
Right.
Then for that 4th role, the studio wanted somebody that was on the same level as the rest of the cast. They wanted a name.
Right.
And we looked for a name, and we offered it to some names. Some people turned down that Tiffany Haddish role.
What?
Oh, yeah. And it was Tiffany.
Tell us who.
Well, you know, I
Tell us
can't.
who turned it down.
Listen,
Who turned it down?
I got good
Who's the
relationship
fool?
in this business.
Who's the fool?
They know. And I've seen them since and said, hey, when you going to put me in something, you know, and that's the business. You know what I'm saying? So then Tiffany came in and auditioned multiple times. And she jumped off the page. Like everybody else was.
Man, Tiffany is lightning in a bottle.
Everybody else was playing the role as it was written. She was embodying the character and making the words better than they were written.
Man, and you so you now have a film that is coming out.
Yeah.
Tell us about
my new one, The Photograph.
The Photograph.
A black love story, Tip. Issa Rae.
Okay.
Yep, my second movie with her, super talented sister.
Right on.
Lakeith Stanfield.
Man, he's super dope.
Yo.
I mean, has enormous range. I mean, I saw
true
him,
artist.
I saw him at the Bad Boys 3 premiere, and I just had to tell him, man, like he got. I think the sky's the limit for bruh, and he could do anything.
People gonna be remember that name, Lakeith Stanfield.
Yeah, he could do anything.
You've seen him, but you haven't seen him in this light. He's a true leading man in this movie.
Right on.
He pops off. He really does.
And so, what's the premise of the movie?
It's a love story, man. It's about. It actually is what we call a parallel narrative. So it tells the story of Issa and her mom. And her mom is dead at the beginning of the movie, but is sending a letter back to her daughter about her life, her loves, the mistakes that she's made. And we watch Issa and her mom go through their love lives at different times, but in similar ways. And Issa's trying to learn from the mistakes of her mom as she starts to date Lakeith Stanfield. I'll be honest with you, Tip, it's a beautiful movie, dog.
Amazing.
Stella McGee directed it. She wrote and directed the movie, and it's it's a love story. So if you ain't got your Valentine's plans,
right on,
I got you.
Man,
You're welcome.
Absolutely. When does it premiere?
Valentine's Day, February 14th.
Comes out February 14th.
February 14th.
It's gonna be a big week for
When
you.
we dropping this? Is this right now?
Big week. Man, whenever you want to, man. Whenever you want to. We can do it on the, what you want, 12th, 13th. What you want to do?
Any
man?
of that.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Man, come on, man. We got you, bro. We got you. That's what we do here.
My God.
Yeah, so now next time when you come back, so just know that whoever Issa's mom was dating on this parallel narrative could have been Tip. Just want you to know that. Take that with you. Okay.
Noted. Duly noted, sir.
Now, we also know I found, I think Idris told me, man, when we sat down and had dinner the other day, he told me that you got another talent, another skill that we don't know about. He said you got another skill we don't know about, man. We can go share it with the people.
What is
I
that
think he
skill?
said you got some
I got some
DJing
turntables.
skills. Did you DJ at Idris's wedding? You DJ'd at
Listen,
Idris's wedding, the entire reception.
I don't want to brag, but I am an international. I'm internationally recognized DJ. Okay, Idris Elba got married in Morocco.
Okay,
and he had a couple of DJs because he DJs had his buddies, but when DJ Willpower got on the thing,
DJ Willpower.
I got a name. Listen. Listen, why is Tip laughing like this? That's a real laugh. Do y'all hear this? Listen,
comedy.
I don't pigeonhole you. You are you one of the best rappers out. I never have said why you trying to act.
No, I didn't
why
say.
Would you
I never
pigeonhole
asked.
me?
I never asked why you were doing it. I'm laughing at the fact that you have hid this talent from all of your friends and constituents.
I have it at the crib. You got to come to the crib.
2 decades.
You got to come to the crib and let me do my thing.
So you got your turntable set up at the crib.
I definitely got my turntables. I'm definitely but I ain't bragging on it like that. I do it for fun. I'm not at the level of DJ that you are as actor. I will tell you that now, okay? But I have fun with it, and I definitely got on the mic and on the table. D-Nice was actually on the tables and I was on the mic, but it was kind of both
you was
of
the
us.
MC.
Yeah.
And then you got behind it.
And then I did. I can spin a little bit.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, man,
Tip, give me my.
I
Don't
can't wait.
Don't
I can't wait to see. I want to see. I wish we could. Is this a strobe light? We could lower the strobe light and crank the music up
I need
in
to
here.
practice. I need to have all my little songs. I need a
need your
playlist.
setup.
I need my setup. I need my set. I'm just,
Well, listen, man. Once you get your 11th number one here,
Yeah.
with the photograph.
Oh man, that would be amazing, pimp.
What we could do is when when you have the official premiere for it?
In New York, next to the 12th.
The 12th.
Yeah, the 11th. The 11th. You coming? You avail?
I mean,
Where you
know
at?
what? If I'm available, I come up there just to see
That
you
would
get
be
behind
amazing.
the turntables.
Well, I didn't. Well, Tip,
at
don't
the
put
after
that.
party.
Don't put that pressure.
No,
on
I'm just
me.
saying because I think that
if you
that would
come,
be,
I will have to get behind the turntables. Okay, all right. It might be the worst 30 minutes of the party.
Nah, man,
but we gonna have a good
no,
time.
if we don't have anything else, we're going to laugh. If we don't do anything else, this is going to be an excellent part of the party.
It's entertainment, baby. You know.
Man, I can't wait. I look forward to all your films, just to see who you put in there besides me. I be looking forward to seeing.
Tip, what's our next movie? We need to figure it out right now.
I mean, for real.
What's our next? We got one we talked about off air. I feel good about.
Sure.
We got to figure out the timing of it. You know
I mean,
what I'm saying?
absolutely, and I entrust that whatever it is you decide will be perfect. What you working on next?
Next is a gospel
Perfect.
hip hop. You didn't let me finish. You
take
don't even know the actors. You don't know the characters or nothing.
I be the shade tree, crooked as a roach leg preacher. There's got to be one.
I can see that actually. I can see it, and people would love you and give you money. Yeah, I got a music movie that's coming out, and it's like a choir competition. Choir competition, gospel.
Which is a
hip hop
huge market.
mashup. Yeah, it's big.
You and Tyler
it's called
Perry
Praise
have to fight
This.
it out about that.
Well, you know, Tyler doing he left that. He kind of doing his other stuff now.
So you saying he abandoned the trap?
I didn't say.
Well, you know,
listen. This room for all lovers,
It's
but I'm gonna
room
get
for all
in there
lovers.
and do my thing for sure.
Absolutely.
I made a movie called The Gospel. You know, Idris's first movie off the wire was called The Gospel.
Oh.
It was a gospel movie. It was him, Boris Kojo, Nona Gay, and it was about him playing a Southern preacher.
Dope.
That was his first theatrical movie after the wire.
Man, that is amazing.
You're welcome, Driss.
That is amazing. Another movie that you left me out of. Now, people always ask me about the favorite song that I wrote.
Yes.
What's your favorite?
What is the favorite song you wrote?
Man, they're like children to me. I would have to say the one that still kind of it grabs me to this day are the ones it would be Still Ain't Forgave Myself, I Still Love You, and Live in the Sky, you know.
So all songs that have a lot of meaning behind them. It's
Yeah,
not
these are
like
really personal.
I know you didn't pick none of the fun tip trap records.
I mean, I
These are
like
all-
those records. They all like my children, but like, you know,
Those are the ones that
they
really
remind me
still-
of what got me here. They remind me of the adversities and all of the conflicts I had to overcome to make it to this place in spite of that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think the pain, you learn more from losses than you do from wins.
That's so true.
You know
That's
what I mean?
so true. And you gotta lose to win.
I don't trust a motherfucker who ain't never lost.
But there's people listening to this right now saying, I want to be Tip, or maybe even I want to be Will Packer.
Yeah.
And they don't understand how necessary the losses were, the
gotta find the
no's
lessons.
were, the failures were
Gotta find
to
the
get to
lessons.
where you and I sit right now.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
unequivocally, you got to find the lessons in the loss.
Yeah. My two would be Stomp the Yard, because that's before anybody in Hollywood was paying me any attention.
Right.
I couldn't get anybody to take me serious, and that was the one that put me on the map as a real quote-unquote Hollywood producer.
Right on.
And then the other one would be a movie that after I left, I was at Sony Screen Gems, and I was making movies with a guy named Clint Culpepper, who was the president of the studio at that time.
Very familiar.
My friend to this day. And then I left there and did Ride Along with Kevin Hart.
Okay.
And so people said, well, you can make movies if they're at Screen Gems with Clint, or you can make movies if they're with Kevin Hart. And
Why
so
would they say that?
Well, people were just saying, you know, you haven't had a lot of success without those two. And then I made a movie called Girls Trip, and it turned out to be one of the biggest movies in my career. And that showed that, yeah, you know what, Will Packer can go out and can work with amazing people, but can do it on his own as well.
I think that after then, man, but you were like what? You were like 9,
Yeah, I was out there.
You were like,
I was winning. But you know how Hollywood is, man.
They always want to.
A lot of my stuff was at Screen Gym, so they said, "Oh, you in that system." Then I did a bunch of stuff with Kevin. They said, "Oh, you in that system."
But I think that Hollywood, as well as the music industry, is about bringing people down to the level of the person doing the judging with doubt. You see what I'm saying? Like, because you've established yourself as a top tier producer, and instead of people recognizing you as a top tier producer and paying you like a top tier producer, giving you what you deserve, to bring you down to what they can afford. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What they say is, oh, well, you haven't done it yet. I don't know if I should. I don't think. But really,
you're right.
you're just looking for excuses to not be fair.
That is the Hollywood way.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like that in music.
Absolutely. It's like that everywhere.
Listen,
It's like
you
that
got to
everywhere.
fight through it.
Absolutely.
I'm always proving my worth. Always.
I mean, you know what, man? I feel that, man. And I think that the HBCU in you is what kind of drives you through all of these adversities.
Bruh. Absolutely.
Now, we have first of all, let me say I appreciate you for coming.
Come on, man.
I know, man, there's a lot of places you could be, man.
Listen, I don't know who cancels that allowed me to get this spot, but I'm glad to be here, brother.
Hey,
I
man.
appreciate you.
Like, hey, man, I'm glad to have you here. And we have a tradition here. We have a tradition here at expediTIously. The tradition.
I've been doing good so far. This is where it goes bad. I can feel whatever this is. I'm not prepared for
The
it.
tradition here is the word of the week. This will require very little to no input or any kind of work from you. All you have to do is nod and smile and act like you know what's going on.
Okay.
That's really all you got to do.
I'm ready. Word of the week.
The word of the week is a word that I choose from my elaborate vocabulary that I pull it from either the conversation or something about the guest.
Okay.
And now, so the word that I've selected today. So they gave me a word, and I don't think that's the word. I'm going off page here. I'm gonna do exponentially.
Okay. All right.
Exponentially.
Yes.
Exponentially is basically more and more rapidly.
Okay.
Exponentially.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna use it in a sentence so people who listen can go on to work and stand around the water cooler, act like they done known the word their whole life, giving me and you absolutely no credit at all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So exponentially in a sentence. Will Packer had great vision for himself even back in his days at FAMU. However, after Stomp the Yard debuted at #1, his growth became exponentially undoubtable.
Oh, what? Scholar. There you go. Words to live by, ladies and gentlemen. Tip. The school of Mr. T.I. Harris.
Hey, man.
Take that.
Hey, listen. I appreciate you.
Come on, my guy.
Thank you.
Thank you, dog.
I thank you for
appreciate
everything
you, for real.
in the past. Thank you for being a friend in the present.
Yep.
And I thank you in advance
In
for
the
a
future.
new starring role
Yeah,
that we're coming up
it's
with.
coming.
All
It's
right.
coming.
And this has been Will Packer. Go see the movie, The Photograph.
The Photograph, absolutely. Love
coming
story.
out Valentine's Day.
Appreciate you.
If you're looking, all you guys out there looking for a very, very cheap way to celebrate your lady, you know what I'm saying, man? It's like $20 a head,
That's
man.
true.
Probably then take you another $20 for your concessions.
Yeah, you could take her to dinner before.
Or you
get
can
her
put
a
some
gift.
shit in the bag.
Why they
You
got to
can put
do
some shit
the
in the bag?
cheap
Look, I'm gonna tell you
way,
something.
Tip?
If you're with a young lady who smokes, do not smoke with her before you go to the movies.
Why?
Smoke after the movie.
Why?
You get the munchies. She get there to the stand, and then she want everything.
Now you out of
Don't
$50
smoke.
on sweet tarts and popcorn.
Man, when you could have just smoked afterwards and ate at the house, you could hook up some noodles real good if that's what you into.
I don't know what was more knowledgeable and important, exponentially, or T.I.'s words to live by. Don't let us smoke before the movie. I'm
Don't
not
let us
sure.
smoke before the movie,
Both
guys.
of those have a lot of value.
I think so,
in
man.
real people's lives.
And
I
thank
have
you.
learned something
Thank
today.
you for adding value to our lives
Thank
with
you,
your
family.
storytelling.
Thank you,
man.
fam.
Love and
Appreciate it. Love you,
respect.
boy.
All right?
My guy.
In a minute. This has been expediTIously. Watch your favorite episodes of expediTIously right now on the expediTIously YouTube page.